What is going on, everybody? Welcome back here to the channel. I'm Sean Davis. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button and subscribe here to the channel for more great Lakers content and coverage. A rough game tonight for a couple different reasons. The Lakers lose to the Boston Celtics 111-101. We're here to break it all down. As always, got my guy Corban Ford. You guys can follow him on Twitter at Corban NBA, co-host of the Indie Basketball Podcast. Also does good stuff for Swish Theory and many more. You got to go check him out on Twitter at Corban NBA. Corban, my guy, thanks so much for hopping on with me. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you having me on as always. Be doing a little bit better. Had the Lakers won, but Here we are. Ultimately happy to talk hoops. So that's my mood. Doing all right. We drinking the matching Pepsi. I love that. Not that we plug or anything, but I got the old school one I'm doing. So
there we go.
There it is. You said it. But other than that, we good. We rocking. Let's go.
So again, apologies guys for some lack of content. I've had some great help from my guy Sanjit. I hope I didn't botch your name, bro. That's done some stuff. He's even done a film breakdown on the channel. So go check out all the stuff he's done to support the channel. I've been super busy with my coaching for our season for the high school team I work with. Currently getting ready for Elite 8 in like 12 hours, a little bit more than that, 14 hours maybe. So yeah, again, as soon as the season's over, and which will be 2 weeks because we're winning a state championship. Manifesting it.
I love it.
As soon as the season's over, right around time for the playoff or the end of season push, getting started to the playoffs. And yeah, the content, the really fun content I've had planned for the channel that I haven't been able to all the way get to is going to continue to ramp up. So much appreciate you guys. Again, shout out to my guys that have contributed to the channel. Let's start off tonight with a injury update on LeBron James. LeBron James left the game about midway through the fourth quarter. He left at the 6:44 mark. He did not return with what the Lakers are describing as a left groin strain. So LeBron says that it's nothing to be super concerned. I don't know. So I guess let's start there. I'm not going to play the full clip. It's a 3-minute and 33-second clip.
And so, yeah, some of it's other.
I'm not playing the whole thing. It's a really I really do encourage you guys to listen to the full thing and LeBron explain the injury, his first initial reactions to the injury. He even talked about like one of the first few things he thought about was AD. I'm assuming like AD going back to the 21 playoffs against Phoenix in Game 4. He also referenced, I think somebody, I'm not quite sure who it was, but somebody did ask him about 2018 or 2019, I guess, and the injury there, and if it was as bad as that. And LeBron said, no, it's like off rip. He kind of knew. I think he thinks that it's not as bad as that, which is obviously a good sign. There's been some like weird, already kind of weird, contradicting like things about the LeBron injury that. One, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure if anybody should know about this early. Like, I doubt he's done a lot of imaging on it already. So anyway, do you have any like initial reactions? One, to the injury, which is super unfortunate. We'll take a look at the Lakers' upcoming schedule and do a standings check as always. But you have any initial reactions to one, anything LeBron said, and two, like just the injury in general?
I liked, hearing it from the source. If he doesn't think it's that bad, LeBron knows his body pretty well, right? So I'm on the positive side of that. He did, I want to say, knock on the wooden locker after he said it. So we'll see, right, what the actual report says. But I'm somewhat hopeful. We'll see. I think, for a Lakers team that's trying to find some semblance of gelling before the postseason begins, any absence from, one of the top two players of your team is obviously going to be impactful. But if he says it's not that bad, then I don't feel that bad about it. I do wonder, again, Lakers have a tough slate of games. At this point, it's all for seeding because Lakers seem like they're going to be, short of a just tragic fall, going to be in the top 5, right? Top 6. So at that point, it's just a matter of where and matchups. Right now, they're sitting nice, second. Can they hold on to that? If not, where do they fall? That sort of thing. And then can LeBron kind of keep rhythm when he gets back? Whether it is a matter of weeks or days, as Dave Memon said, to be back in the flow for when the Lakers have their first matchup. So he'll be back before the postseason. At least we're hoping on that, even if it is a matter of weeks. But again, we'll see. So it's still some questions, but I would say a little bit of optimism based off what LeBron himself said.
Right. So this is what Dave McMenamin said about the injury. So this is, you know what? I'll just pull up the direct tweet from Dave, and Dave has not gotten some kind. He has not, been treated with, kind words. I guess I don't even know like how to phrase that.
Not well received.
Yeah, sure. The reactions to Dave McMenamin's initial tweet were not received very well. Dave McMenamin of ESPN says it's too early to project an accurate timetable for how long LeBron James could miss because of his left groin injury, sources told ESPN. However, one source said that the initial thought is that it will sideline James for a matter of weeks, not days. And then, obviously, LeBron kind of, pretty quickly, does his post-game interview or, locker room interview or whatever and says, no, kind of day to day. We'll see how it is. We'll get some treatment or whatever. Which, is weird. Again, the reporting by contradicting, like I said earlier, I was kind of comparing it to this because then you have, some doctors, if you will, saying, we're talking about, weeks. You're looking at a grade 2 strain, which is essentially a partial tear of the groin, which you're looking at 3 to 6 weeks. And then again, LeBron basically said, it's not as bad as, the 2018-2019 injury and Christmas Day against the Golden Warriors. Not nearly as significant as that. And again, LeBron saying is not much concern about the injury. Kind of to your point, Corban, I think the best thing to do in this scenario is to just like take it from the source. It's LeBron. I don't know. Am I missing anything else there?
I'm with you. I mean, he said himself, right? LeBron knows his body. He's done this in the past. If it's bad, oh my gosh, clutch our chain, like it's rough, right? He says he doesn't think it's that bad. I'm willing to take his word for it. We'll see again what ultimately medical says, right? Because, players can play through a lot, say a lot, and at the end of the day, the tape is what will be the final determination. But at this point right now, I mean, I'll take LeBron's word over Dave McMenamin's just because it's LeBron. No disrespect to Dave McMenamin, but Dave's talking about LeBron and LeBron's talking about LeBron. Like, come on. You could take it from me, y'all, about how Sean's coaching is or how Sean's doing, or you can hear from Sean himself. What would you take? That's kind of feels like to me.
I think the chat would listen to you if you were hating on me. If you weren't hating on me, then I think they would find somebody that would hate on me, and then
somebody from afar. Yeah. Now you're a national treasure on this one. I highly doubt that, but someone from afar, sure. You never know.
JJ Redick said that he is obviously concerned about LeBron's groin strain, but did not have any further updates. Honestly, and I'm not here to critique Dave. I think that that's been done enough at this point. But if that's really like, I think he could have just left it at that, honestly. Like JJ, like, okay, if I'm Dave in that scenario, and again, hindsight's 2020. Again, I'm not even here to criticize Dave because I truly do think, regardless of how potentially nasty the tweet was, I do think Dave was trying to do his job. And I think that's why he specifically said sources told ESPN, because I think if it was an opinionated statement, then I think it would have just been, look out for potential weeks, if not, weeks, not days for the LeBron injury. I think he specifically said, sources tell ESPN, because I really do think he was trying to do his job at the end of the day. But I think honestly, it should have just been left that, look, obviously there's concern, internally about the LeBron injury, but nobody really knows. Because again, how does anybody know? Like, honestly,
exactly. There's no way to tell right now. It happened a couple hours ago, if that.
And an hour and a half ago. Like like nobody knows.
Ain't no telling.
The Lakers, after tonight's loss, dropped to the 3 seed. They're half a game back of the 2-seeded Denver Nuggets. Both teams are rolling right now. Denver's won 7 of their last 3, including a 2-game win streak. The Lakers losing tonight, previously on a tear. Lakers are now 8 of their last 10. Lakers back in action Monday night. So tomorrow night, at the time of this recording, against the Brooklyn Nets. Then you get, this is some good news, I guess. You get some decent time off for Laker terms, at least. You get Not even this. I'm gonna pull this schedule up, Corban, because
it's about to get crazy.
It's about to get crazy. It's brutal for the Lakers here coming up. Their schedule's ridiculous. I said you get a little bit of a break. I mean, you do. You get 2 days off, but then you have back-to-back Milwaukee, Denver, day off, back-to-back Phoenix, San Antonio, then day off, then another back-to-back Denver, Milwaukee. So you literally play 6 games in 8 days. Luckily for you, I guess. And no, this is a luckily for you. Only one of those like back-to-backs are on the road. You have a back-to-back Thursday and Friday, Milwaukee and Denver, and then the other back-to-backs after this are at the very least going to be spent in the comforts of your own home. Some key Western Conference games left on the Lakers schedule. We're doing a quick schedule check. They play
against OKC. Ooh.
They have a back-to-back in OKC, not necessarily back-to-back days, but they do play OKC back-to-back times. You have Denver 2 more times on the schedule, once in Denver, once in LA. The game at Denver is on the second night of a back-to-back. You play the Memphis Grizzlies again in Memphis. You play the Houston Rockets again twice, both games in LA. And then you play the Golden State Warriors one more time. The Dallas Mavericks, not really the biggest game in the world now due to all their injuries, although that is expected to be Luka Doncic's return game to Dallas, which will have a lot of eyes on that game, obviously. So those are the key Western Conference games. You do play Milwaukee twice. You do play Indiana, who's starting to pick up some momentum right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, what's your confidence? Let's say LeBron James misses 7 days, right? So it's days, not weeks. So, a week from now, you're looking at, first night of a back-to-back or first day of a back-to-back against the Phoenix Suns, right? And let's say even he doesn't play that game. They want to save him and play him second night against San Antonio. So let's say you miss this entire upcoming week without LeBron. You have no LeBron against Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Denver, Phoenix. I mean, how confident are you heading into this 4-game stretch if we are playing in the scenario that LeBron James is out for this 4-game stretch?
Not super great, to be honest with you. LeBron's been pretty integral. As much as Luke has been finding his footing, LeBron's been keeping, for the most part, consistent play, leading the Lakers, or at least being one of the leaders in their comebacks, right? So I'd probably say you finish 2-3.
Ignore the San Antonio game. So just this stretch, 4 games.
2-2. And and I might even say 1-3, and I hate to say that.
Are the 2 wins in your eyes Brooklyn, Phoenix?
Yeah.
Because if you get Rui back, assuming Rui's back, I mean, very much assuming Jackson Hayes is back, I think Phoenix is a really, really gettable.
I think Phoenix is a gettable game, yeah. Denver is, especially as they've been finding their groove, you have no one to guard Jokic, and the scrapping you have, you minus LeBron. And if you're still minus Rui, those are 2 very important pieces to why you won when you did.
Yeah.
So now that turns Rui, and you take away LeBron and Rui. Now you have what? Dorian Finney-Smith.
You just don't have enough.
Vando, who almost fouled out in like 5 minutes against Denver. You bring Trey Jemison out there. You don't have enough. Yeah. So I don't know if that one's going to be. Yeah. I don't know. Milwaukee, I guess same thing. Giannis is a tough matchup. You might be able to catch Milwaukee slipping. Maybe Austin Reeves and Luka have a game like D'Lo and Austin had last year against Milwaukee, when D'Lo was just on fire. Like, you can outscore Milwaukee, and maybe get just enough stops to win. But I'm not really banking it. Brooklyn's scrappy. I still would give the Lakers the advantage over Brooklyn, but Brooklyn's a scrappy team as well, and they got D'Lo back. So I don't know. I'm gonna say 1-3. I'm gonna say 1-3. I don't feel great about it, but like just looking at objectively at LeBron, Luka just has to go crazy. And that's also, again, we got to bring into account who else the Lakers will probably be missing, because it's not just LeBron who's gone. Like, you still have to worry about when Rui comes back, right? You still have to worry about Jackson Hayes and his availability. So, yeah, what do you think, though, Sean?
Assuming you get everybody back for that Phoenix game, I think you could get Phoenix. So I'm gonna agree with you that it's 2-2. I'm gonna agree with you as 2-2. Now, again, it's possible they may even extend it here to San Antonio. Or, I mean, I don't want to predict this too soon because, like I said, there's no way of knowing right now. But I would think Bron's back by this second Denver game. I would think.
I would hope.
I mean, yeah, I would hope. Rather, I guess is the better word. But yeah, I'm gonna lean 2-2 right now. Personally, I'm gonna lean 2-2.
Yeah, that feels about right.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the game a little bit tonight. So, Los Angeles Lakers, like I said, lose 111 to 101 to the Boston Celtics. Corban, what's your biggest takeaway? I guess we'll start there from tonight's game against the Boston Celtics.
You kind of mentioned it before we went on here, but just not overreacting. I think the bottom line is the Lakers' kryptonite is when you play. I don't even think it's playing bigs. It's playing bigs that can't be put off the floor or actually holding up well in isolation. And so for the Lakers, Al Horford was a big difference maker for Boston, right? Like the numbers don't pop off the page, but he was a plus 16, had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. But what got me, I think the biggest stat out of all of that is that he played 37 minutes. And not, Austin Reeves playing 37 minutes at 38 years old. It's really more of the fact that he played as much. There was no moment where Coach Joe Mazzulla was like, oh, yeah, we don't have to play him. And when I mean that, I mean, they went Al Horford relentlessly. The Lakers did. They went on switches. They had Luka on isolated against Al. They had LeBron isolated against Al. You had Austin Reeves have his moments. And for the most part, Al Horford held up well, moved his feet well on switches, kept his verticality, forced a number of misses for the Lakers, towards the rim, made them settle for tougher shots than they might have, and if you aren't able to isolate him on one end, and he's also one of the bigger Celtics players on the other end who can both finish around the rim and post-ups and shoot the ball, the Lakers have issues, especially without Jackson Hayes being there. So I don't overreact because how many bigs can do that like Al? I say one hand. Like off the top of my head, the number centers who can hold up well on switches against both LeBron and Luka and also make you pay on the other end. And even then, who knows? Maybe this is just a really good Al game. He was just really, really good on that end. So that's the first takeaway. The second is free throws. Like Celtics lived at the free throw line. At least it felt like it. They went 18-25. The Lakers didn't even they went 9-14. I think they settled a lot for tough jumpers, didn't make them, and then they get to the free throw line. Luka 7-8, Austin Reeves 2 of 2, Vando missed 1, LeBron 0 for 3. That was it. Like, you aren't getting anything else. Like, Dalton Knecht, Jordan Goodwin, Gabe Vincent, jump shots. Dorian Finney-Smith, not his game. So I think that was also a factor of just not having that level of rim attacks and free throw generation. But yeah, those are my biggest takeaways. Aside from that, like Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum are going to do what they do. Jason Tatum had 40, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, knocked down 6 threes. I thought you played Jalen Brown well at times. I thought the Lakers had moments, especially in that third quarter going into the fourth quarter, where they were pretty solid as they kind of tried to get back into the game. But I think you had some dumb Jordan Goodwin seconds at the end of the third. And then you had when LeBron went down and, you just lost some firepower there that you desperately needed. I think those were the key factors in the Lakers' loss.
So I want to start off and kind of piggyback right off of what you were saying. I'm not overreacting to a loss against defending champs. I'm not overreacting for a couple of reasons. One, I think you kind of, very eloquently described, Al's performance, some of the shooting variants that you dealt with, the LeBron injury. But you were also just small. Like, Jackson Hayes and Rui get a lot of shit, and some of it from me. But, like, they are very, very integral to your defense working and the peel switching, because you peel switch, you go from – it's different peel switching and going from big wing to small guard and going big wing or big guard to Jackson Hayes, who can – move his feet, to Ruby, who's been more locked in defensively, or Braun, and vice versa. It shifts Vando's roll up to a step that I don't think they're comfortable with. And what I mean, I'm not saying that in a slight to Vando. I'm saying that in the sense of, I think the Lakers love Vando as this defensive playmaker that just wreck shit. And that's the best way for me to describe Vando, honestly. I think they really love him as that guy that hovers around 18 to 20 minutes than the guy that played 29 minutes tonight, I want to say it was. I'll briefly fact check that. He played 29 minutes on the nose. So I think they like Vando more in that 16 even to 20-minute range, as opposed to, all right, we got nobody. We got to play 30 minutes tonight, basically. Because Vando is super, super, super poor to his defense. I don't want to underestimate that.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But then a couple other reasons too. I think a lot of the Lakers' issues are very much self-inflicted. Primarily, they got to get organized offensively, and there is a level of, you have Luka. Let's let Luka cook. Let's let Luka, kind of freelance and do his own thing and yada yada. And there is, to a certain extent, you do kind of have to live with some freelancing from elite offensive players. You have to, right? Because if there isn't this sense of, in air quotes, freedom, whatever that is, it's a very, very subjective thing. I'm using that right. Sometimes like subjective to objective. Okay, yeah.
No,
very subjective thing, like freedom in a basketball sense. But if there isn't this sense of it, then you can like lose the player's trust and vice versa, right? But you can like let Luka cook, but like keep everybody organized and have a plan attacked and not just running freelance the entire time. Yeah. Like
it can be done.
I can literally say, look, okay, it might come off as boring in again, like all this is in air quotes, not in a lazy way, but again, subjective. It might come off as boring or all he does is call plays or whatever. But like, no, I'm actively like trying to help you cook. I just want to keep it organized so that everybody's on the same page and we get you in a favorable spot, whether it's having the help beater, whether it's attacking a certain coverage, whatever the case may be, but while still letting you cook. Like I can run Spain pick and roll for you and let you cook against drop. Or I can just randomly say, hey, set a screen, everybody just stand around and look at you and freelance. And now it's like, oh, okay, so all right, Luka's doing this. So, okay, where it's Spain pick and roll, we're running, and this is gonna sound like gibberish to everybody, but we're running horns out Miami Spain for Luka Doncic right here. I'll try my best to explain. Horns out setup. So you have your two guys at the elbow, cross screen at the elbow, horns out, get it, hand off to the corner guy, throw it back up top, Spain pick and roll. Every single player on the floor knows exactly what's going on and what the read is for Luka, and Luka gets to feast and drop. And again, like I am actively saying, Luka, go kill, but we're just gonna keep it organized. So like I really don't like it's Luka, you gotta let him do this. And yes, again, like I said, to a certain extent, there is a little bit of, he's an elite offensive player, he's gonna freelance, you're going to let him freelance. But to the drastic extent that it's been so far, I mean, specifically tonight, but it's kind of been a problem all season. My guy at Cranges Week Basketball does an amazing job keeping track of the Lakers' organized offense so far this season. By the way, anything above like 55%, I think is you would describe as good enough organized offense for that quarter. Cranges has actually done a great job, and he's even helped me out, keep a track of some of the stuff that I do for my team. I mean, he doesn't track it for me. Like, he's helped like substitute templates and giving me some advice or whatever, if you will. Advice, I don't even know if advice is the word.
Counsel,
Lakers organized offense rate by quarter tonight. Quarter one, 15%, which is atrocious. Quarter two, 33%. Quarter three, 42%. Quarter four, 42%. Just awful levels of organization. In the first quarter, they started off hot shooting the ball, and they had good transition offense in the first quarter, but it just fell off. And another thing that typically happens when you run organized offense is you get better shots because again, it's organized. Everybody knows what's going on. So again, very, very fixable stuff. And then you add in the fact that you're missing Rui, you're missing Hayes. Rui, another guy that's an efficient spot up catch and shoot 3-point shooter for you that really, really aligns with kind of JJ's philosophy shift. And I'll have a video kind of talking about that. They'll probably drop. It's not even really JJ's philosophy shift. I think it's Bennett's philosophy, but I think it's been his preferred philosophy, but I think he's kind of had to shift some things due to the trade, obviously. Yeah, so I kind of just rambled there for a second. I started speaking gibberish, giving full play call outs. By the way, yeah, JJ's not calling out horns out Miami, Spain. That's all just the technical terms of what's going on in the play. But yeah, anything you want to add on to what I just said there, Corban?
I hate to be that guy, but I think you covered it pretty succinctly. Like, not a whole lot to add to it. I think it makes sense. And, you already kind of addressed any possible complaints. Like, yes, it's understood, but at this point, trying to find a semblance of continuity,
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I'll dive into the film some more. I'll dive into the film some more and hopefully give you guys a better answer. All right, let's just wrap up the show with the mailbag. Open up the mailbag for you guys, and we'll answer some questions for you guys. My guy Drew starts things off. Trev stole your line, Sean. Check ball. I do say that a lot. Check ball.
Yeah. There you go. And there you use it again.
I guess if Trev wants to steal that, I guess I have to go to my second one. Ball up top.
Ball up top. There you go.
There we go. Shout out Trev and the guys. The offense needs some more organization. The whole freelance because the mismatch hunting doesn't work against good defensive teams. There's some value to mismatch hunting. And again, like if that's what your idea of organized offense is like mismatch hunting and we're playing with a concept, I guess I don't know. I saw somebody like in my mention say something about like Jovan talking about the organized offense. So I do kind of want to like take a look at the film because like
I would say that feels like a future film breakdown.
Yeah, I do think there's some metric, like not metric. I do think there's some standing to like we are organized in the sense we're trying to pick at a certain matchup. But then my argument is like, what the team's like playing drop.
Yeah.
Like, and they're not, I mean, Boston's
or
not,
teams that have like-sized defenders that make it so your switching doesn't necessarily yield a clear advantage.
Yeah. Like, so I don't know. Again, I'll have to check that out, but appreciate the comment from my guy. Let's see. My bad. Luca X Braun at Twitter. I don't have any questions, but I truly believe that we're going to meet the Celtics again in the finals. I'll tell you guys what I told Corban, and Corban, you let me know if you have any complaints. I think there's only 5 teams that have a real shot at winning a title this season. Like a real shot. I think OKC, Denver, Lakers, Boston, Cavs. I think those are the 5 teams with a real shot at it. I think there's a few teams on the outside, like less than 5% chance of winning a title. There's a very, very specific and very, very unlikely path to them winning one. Like, for example, and I hate that I'm saying this, I think there is a very, very unlikely shot Golden State somehow wins one. But they're not in the clear 5, but like they would be in the I highly doubt it, but maybe. I think I actually would put Milwaukee and New York in a very similar category. Like I highly doubt it for both of those teams, but it's possible. So yeah, I don't have anything to disagree with or agree with necessarily. I think they're 2 of the 5 teams that they have a real shot. You have anything to add there?
I don't think it's a crazy thought. Like I don't know. I think a lot shakes out. Obviously this LeBron injury and such, but ultimately, yeah, I think they have a good chance to make it. I'm pretty sure the Celtics also have the same chance. There you are.
Alex Espinosa on Twitter, I believe. How do your views fluctuate after a big win? Denver, New York. You can also throw the first Celtics game in there. You could throw in like the past 2 Clippers games, even maybe. But what we'll stick to is comparison: Denver and the Knicks compared to disappointing losses, Charlotte or Utah. Corban, how do your views personally fluctuate?
I try to stay pretty even keeled. I don't like to get too high, I don't get too low. I do when I'm watching the game. Like I'm that crazy fan that's like living and dying on every shot. But when you take a step back and look at the big picture, it's 82 games. Maybe I play a lot of basketball simulation games, right? Like, and I think that's kind of actually worked for me because you have some games where you're like, oh, I'm going to win that game. And then you sim it and you lose. You're like, wait, what? And you look at the numbers, you drive yourself crazy. And some days it's not your day. Like, I think with Charlotte, I think you look at a short all-star break, a little bit of sluggishness.
Pretty clearly that's what that was.
Exactly. Shots not going down. And yes, a little bit of a scheme thing because LaMelo Ball was able to attack on certain matchups. Like that, in there is a nugget of concern. But ultimately, that entire pie that I'm baking in this analogy here was a mix of other factors. So yes, bad loss, don't want to lose, could have won. Think about that. And that's what happened. Other disappointing losses, I try to like look at it the same way. Big wins, same thing. Had the Lakers crushed Boston tonight or last night, I'd have been like probably a little more excited, because I hold up now. Wait a second, 9 in a row, whatever the case may be. But in a loss like this, you look at they came in without the starting center, right? And they only had one center on the roster, really, right? Add to the fact they could really make threes. LeBron didn't knock down one. Then he left early with an injury. Like there's other factors you bring in. Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, they were solid as usual. Like there's other factors you could bring in. Luke had a great game. Luke was pretty efficient. I think the matchups that the Lakers are targeting were fine. Just the outcome wasn't what they got. So rambling here, but I try to just lay out, okay, this is what happened. Let's say the facts. It has to be something just horribly wrong for me to go to a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like if LeBron had like a more horrifying injury, knocking on all the wood or something like that, where I'm like, oh my gosh, but at this point,
wood right in front of you.
Oh, my table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my table actually.
Okay.
I'm just saying no, but like it's late. No, but ultimately that's how I do it. I just try to keep it. We watch so many games at this point, right? Like I think you could say watch every Lakers game this season.
Yeah, I promise you this is not coach speak. I'm very much 24 hours. I'm very much that's like so dead ass how I live my life. I need to stop cussing. No, I'm very serious. Like
children.
There's children watching this program. No, seriously, like it's actively like annoying and frustrating when Corban could piss me off right now. Like right now, he could say something that will piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you. 99.7% of the time. There's only literally a handful of things I can like recall of that I was mad about it, and the next day I was still mad about it. Like Corban can piss me off right now. I promise you guys, I will text Corban at 9 a.m. Say, hey, what's up, dude? You good? All right. Like I won't be mad about it anymore. Like silly fights or stuff like friends or whatever. I will wake up the next day and be like, so yeah, that was dumb. All right, my bad. Or yada yada. Like that's not coach speak. So the only time I was like really legit excited to that point or negative to that point, Denver, admittedly, like I will admit, I was on cloud 9 after they beat Denver. Not even because they beat Denver, but the way they beat Denver. Oh my God, I was on cloud 9.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm laughing myself because I was trying to trigger Sean in the private comments with some funny stuff.
Oh no, wait. I never. I'm not gonna repeat the hashtag he put.
No.
But yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think of like Miami. Yeah, that sucked. God, that Miami loss sucked.
That Miami loss was actually pretty rough. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
San Antonio.
Oh, that yeah.
It's like there's been some examples of like some really, really frustrating losses this
But
season.
like every NBA team, Boston's kicking themselves from a loss they had to Toronto a bit ago, right?
Oh my
And
God,
then
that
they
was
gave up a
disgusting.
big loss. Yeah, and then they had a big one to Cleveland, right? Where Jason
Yeah.
Tatum was like, "Get out of here," and he ended up being the one that had to get out of here. Like, like ultimately, that's the thing. Over the course of 82, that's going to happen. Like, I'm sure every team, you know,
Yeah.
like
Like Boston
Cleveland
literally
couldn't get
lost to
over
Chicago
Atlanta. Yeah, Boston lost to
twice.
Chicago. Yes, remember that? People forget that happened early, but Cleveland could not beat Atlanta. So,
Boston
like,
got dogged by Detroit like a week and a half ago.
yep.
So
Warriors, that's what I'm saying. Everybody has them. Over the course of 82, it's a war of attrition. You know, some teams come out hot, some teams don't have it. Injuries are a factor. Lakers specifically, I think you have to apply that same lens to it, right? Like they're, you know, obviously we have this Lakers exceptionalism and we're about it, but over the course of 82 games, and I'm sounding like a coach, but not really, you know, like it's bound to happen sometime, you know.
we'll do a couple more here. The Just Cam experience says Lakers can't match Boston, in my opinion. Still a ways to go. I do think there's still a ways to go. I'll say this, and again, this may be a hot take. I'm not saying Boston's a great matchup for you. I would much rather play Boston over Cleveland if you're fully healthy. Like, if you think Boston's a bad matchup for you, I think Cleveland's the worst matchup for you, personally. Because, and this is how I view matchups. This is when I view matchups, I'm looking like how I view matchups as how am I going to guard you? Because I'm so confident in our guys to where, like, coaching wise, like with my guys and like literally the Lakers, like, yeah, you can't guard us. So I like my first thought isn't even how are you going to guard me. It's going to be how am I going to guard you because our guys are so good. It's not going to matter, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
So like I look at Boston, I'm like, okay, like yeah, Tatum's a really, really good player, super, super, super underrated. Tatum's actually frustrated because I think he's either super underrated or super overrated. Even though this is probably just more underrated, I think Tatum's actually a really, really good player. Jalen Brown's a good player. Derek White, not KCP, KP, Drew, Sam, you know, Peyton,
yeah,
Al. They have a lot of really, really good players.
Solid.
Cleveland scares the shit out of me because if God, okay, like just donate $5 every time I swear. I think the Lakers the biggest thing that scares me, and you go back to with like the Charlotte game. And I don't think Diamond or DG are elite ISO scorers. I don't think they're elite necessarily. But I think they're both really, really good ISO scorers.
Oh, Donovan, I would probably put up there. Yeah, Donovan.
Okay, if you want to classify Donovan as an elite ISO scorer, sure. I'll play fair there.
He definitely will be against the Lakers.
That's my point, bro. And then like if you try to like avoid the switching and go somewhere else because the switching against the Cavs scares me. They have so much shooting. They're all like they have so many like good decision makers. Donovan's kind of like turned into a second gear, or like he was stuck. Like the gears were a little rusty in the first half of the season. I mean, he still had an all-star caliber first half of the year. Don't get me wrong, but he's kind of kicked into that like third gear or whatever. Post all-star break, Darius Garland's having a phenomenal season. Evan Mobley's he's had a breakout. He's turned into a legit mismatch hunter, which is a problem. DeAndre Hunter, a legit wing scorer that they've missed. Ty Jerome,
I was about to mention
good.
Ty Jerome. He is so good. No, I couldn't wait to get to him. He changes the tempo of a game. He continues on with the offense. He's so nasty.
Evan Mobley and Jared Allen's like two-man game if you try to hedge, and Evan Mobley and Jared both could just throw that mug up, and you know you don't have AD back there to like try to help out. Now there's potentially running into some problems with like them guarding you, and you know I think that's fair, but again I'm so worried about us guarding them, and they got to be Boston to their own right. Like they have to be Boston, so
yeah, they got their own nightmare matchup. But between the size they have, the gang rebounding is going to be a thing.
The lineup versatility they have.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Yep. I'm not saying you match up well against Boston necessarily, even though I don't think it's a horrible matchup. I'm not saying it's good. I'm
it's not ideal, but it's doable.
Yeah, I mean, trust. If I got to play the Knicks, hell yeah. The hell?
Yeah. But the Knicks had to get past both Boston and Cleveland. I do not see that happening on the side at all.
Hot take. Never mind.
I'm about to say, whoa.
We're not gonna do that.
We're not. It's too late for that tonight.
Last one, Larry K 520. Remember all the things the Lakers supposedly needed before the trade for Luka in order to be title contenders. Get more athletic in the backcourt. Yep, another two-way player and a backup center. Does Luka make those needs less important in your opinion? I still think we need them. So I want to kind of use that question and reorder it. One, yes, like, does Luka make those needs less important in your opinion? And then two, which one of those needs would you say is the biggest need for LA currently?
Reread the needs real quick.
Getting more athletic in the backcourt, adding another two-way player, and a backup center. Ooh, okay. I read that wrong in my head the first time.
Okay, I'm probably going to be different here. I'm still going to say backup center. Like, okay. I would say two-way player, but honestly, with Luka and LeBron dominating the ball and Austin Reeves, two-way just means make a shot and play defense, which to me is not two-way. That's just an NBA player. So, that's
Vincent.
Exactly. There you go. That's the two-way for you. I think Luka makes it so athleticism in the backcourt. Yeah, that'd be nice. But at this point, like, you could get by without the athleticism in the backcourt. You can get by. I think it'd be funny, but Austin Reeves and Luka, I think you have what you need in terms of functionality for a backcourt minus the athleticism. But hey, I mean, Memphis has athleticism with John Morant, and like, you know, they're a very good team, but like, there's some questions there outside of that. So like, I think you can be fine with that. I think the backup center is still the biggest need though. And you see it because one, you see the type of players that both Luka and LeBron prefer at the 5 spot. And you look at who the Lakers actually have there. And you're getting some really good minutes when you have from Jackson Hayes. And outside of that, you are cobbling together anything to get together some 5-man units with a reasonable 5. And you don't have it. Christian Koloko has disappeared since February, it seems like. Trey Jemison is just super raw. He's a big body, but like there's not a whole lot going on down there. So yeah, backup 5, like a legit backup 5 that can replicate the play of the starting 5 would be ideal.
Yeah. This is gonna be my take on the Luka thing. I think Luka has made certain things like less important. And the reason being is because Luka is genuinely one of the 5 Magic Johnson. Hold on, I'm doing this on the fly. Magic Johnson, Chris Paul, I probably throw in there.
How you feel about Stockton?
Get that Karl Malone poster mention out of here.
I did that literally as a joke, but yeah.
If you want to anger an old head, that like just in my old head, I truly mean like lives and dies with 90s basketball, like hates the current form of basketball. Yeah. Just call John Stockton a Karl Malone merchant and you will get a 30-minute rant, I guarantee you.
Yeah. You're doing point guards, right?
Well, I'm thinking passers in general. So LeBron will probably be in there.
Jason Kidd, Steve Nash. I would
take Luka over both of those two guys in this particular thing. I think Luka Doncic. Maybe.
Oh, you're naming people. Oh, I thought you were doing top 5. You're naming people that you would put over Luka.
I'm thinking of guys that put
significantly.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to like start debate. Well, maybe you do start a debate in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about what I'm about to say. I think Luka Doncic is a top 5 player of all time in terms of. God, I should have worded that a little bit differently. He is a top 5 player of all time in terms of the ability to just create open shots for his teammates. The amount of open threes that Luka Doncic on the regular basis, and this is not like
I might put him over Paul.
Here, one more. What'd you say?
I said I might put Luka over Paul in that category,
and that's fair. Like, and the reason why I say like Steve Nash is a little bit different in the sense, like Steve. Yeah, I was about to make a bad comparison. Maybe it's not a bad comparison. I'll let you know what it was off air.
Okay.
But like, it's not like just simple one more swing pass. It's like getting the teeth of the defense makes like he made a just ridiculous pass to Dorian Finney-Smith today. where I think he's like driving. This is early in the game, like the first quarter, driving into the defense, and he throws his pass like basically behind his defender's back. That's the best way to describe it. And it lands almost perfectly in Dorian Finney-Smith's lap to shoot a three. Obviously, you have the infamous at this point pass to LeBron, where he literally passed LeBron to a cut. Because I really think Bron was about to shoot that, but Luka like a quarterback led him to the rim. We've seen Luka's ability with freak athletic vertical jumpers. Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, to a certain extent, Jackson Hayes this season. And so Luka's ability with that, I think is kind of, and just his scoring potential in general, I think it's kind of lessened some needs, specifically offensively. But all in all, I would just say another playable big. I wouldn't even say backup big. Like Jackson Hayes is I think he's a capable starter at this point. I think heading into the year, I would have said Jackson Hayes is a replacement level player. Like if he's your backup big, I'm still probably looking to replace him. I think at this point, Jackson Hayes is like a solid $10 million big that you would he's the Dennis Schroeder of bigs. Like when Dennis Schroeder was at his peak, basically, you're like, if he's my backup, hell yeah. If he's my starter, it's not hell yeah. Like it can be worse, but like, let's find somebody that can push him back to his preferred, to his best spot. So I think really is more just another option with Jackson Hayes, who again has had a really good season. This defense does, I think, to a certain extent, rely on his mobility and his athleticism. So long-winded answer there.
I like it. I'm with it completely.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in here. I really, really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Sean_DAVI. More great content on the way in the next couple of weeks once my season wraps up. So I appreciate you guys' patience. Make sure you guys follow Corban on Twitter as well at Corban NBA. Does great stuff for Swiss Theory, also co-host of the Indie Basketball Podcast. As always, guys, go Lake Show. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.